Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Clayton Dembski Show, the Big Clayt podcast. Today is July 7th, 7:47 p.m. on a Tuesday in the year 2026. A beautiful day to be alive, a beautiful day to do all of the things that I did, and feeling wonderful. We've got a great show. Been a couple of days off since the last episode. Been real busy. Been doing a lot of fun things. So we're going to dive right into it. 10 points on the list today, and we'll see how long it takes. So, point number one. Oh my God, excuse me. Sorry, I just ate a frozen yogurt because I was feeling a little naughty today. A little bit phlegmy from that, if I do say so myself. So bonus content before we even got into number one, number 0.5, I just got a frozen yogurt at Mill Valley Swirl. They had cotton candy flavor, which was very artificial and almost disturbing, but kind of fun at the same time. I also got a little bit of original tart and cookies and cream with some Kit Kat and some Oreo crumbs, sprinkle, whatever on top. Pretty good. Not the best, but pretty good. So we'll start with that. But getting into point number one, 4th of July, Independence Day. What a great American holiday. You love to see it. You love to experience it. Started off the day by ripping the gym. Get a nice all-American pump with some pull-ups, some chest press of the incline variety, bunch of other things, a nice warm-up with some core and some push-ups. So a wonderful workout. I went from there over to the Larkspur 4th of July parade. Wonderful parade, not too political this year. Got to see the Larkspur and Corte Madera Beautification Committee float ride by, which is always fun because I love what they do for the community. Love the beautification that they do around town. Any other good floats in there? Ted Meyer, local umpire from Twin Cities Baseball, one of the 2 citizens of the year in Larkspur, so tip of the cap to old Ted Meyer. There was a band playing a whole lot of love with some chick singing who was absolutely wonderful, and the band sounded really good. They seemed like they were all like 25 years old or younger, and they were absolutely jamming out, shredding on the back of a truck, so tip of the cap to them. They didn't have a sign or anything of who they were or what their band name was, so I hope I cross paths with them again somehow in the future, but they were very good. Let's see, what else? I had a Ruli drip coffee. I had a girasol pastry that I split with my mother, and also a Cantarin. It's like some apricot thing, pastry. Very good, delicious. Got to see the local folk in Ruli that are always there. They were slammed, as they are usually on the 4th of July. And the parade was great. Hung out for a while and then headed home to get grilling. Threw some burgers on the grill. I made burger sauce. We had some brioche buns, a bunch of different cheeses. It was very good. Very fun to grill. And then my buddy Mike came over as well. He brought a ribeye and some filet mignon. So we grilled that up, made a little filet burger sandwich with filet instead of a burger, a little bit of melted Swiss, some burger sauce, and pickled jalapenos. Unbelievable. So good. It was so tender. So I really enjoyed that. I went down to Town Park to check out the 4th of July festival that follows the parade after we grilled. A little bit too old or too young of a crowd. It was either children or like old kind of boomer age folks, parent age. So not really the happening spot for young folk, but still checked it out. They had music there, kind of soulful band playing. It was cool, playing some hits, some classics, cover band, whatever, but not really the scene. It was kind of windy out there too. So then I went to the Silver Peso, which is renovated and reopened after an old lady backed her car into it a couple months or if not more than a year ago. So that was fun to go. Had some beverages, hung out with Mike and a couple of other pals that I went to middle school with. So good to catch up with them. We ended up going to one of their houses, had some pizza, hung out for a little bit. And then I came home and had some leftover burgers reheated on the pan. Had a tapioca rice pudding or tapioca pudding. pot de creme, wonderful brand. And Petite Pot, that's the brand. So it was not a pot de creme. It was a rice pudding or a tapioca pudding. Either way, delicious. Another burger, some leftover pizza. So a good day. 4th of July was wonderful. I did get a little banged up, which wasn't in the cards originally, but things happen, and had some beverages. It is what it is. Drank my electrolytes, stayed hydrated throughout the day to minimize the bad effects, but what can you do? So that was 4th of July. Point number 2, the following day on the 5th of July, I went to Stern Grove in San Francisco to see Major Lazer. Stern Grove does free festivals throughout the summer, and I hounded everyone in my family to use their emails so we could try and get free tickets. And my eldest sister ended up getting selected, so she got 4 tickets in the raffle. So I went with her and my other sister, and it was a wonderful time. A little bit foggy, overcast, but still great vibes, and the sun was kind of poking through the clouds and still heating it up, keeping it warm enough to party, and it was great. Always fun to see a set that Diplo is involved with. Major Lazer's not really an artist I would kill to see, but it was free, and it's at Stern Grove, which is such a cool venue, so we just went and grooved out for a couple hours and got to go to a show together. So that was really fun. Came back after Stern Grove and on that Sunday night, the 5th of July, and grilled burgers again with the family, which was just wonderful. Got to do it again. My nephew was there. Alice came up to hang out. Both my sisters, my mom, saw my brother and his wife. They had just gotten home from Tahoe. They were over at my sister's when we got back from Stern Grove before we went over to my mom's for dinner. But so I got to see the whole family that evening, even though my brother and his wife didn't join us for dinner. Still got to see everyone, and I got to hop on the grill again, which it's been funny lately, grilling burgers in the spirit of summer, because everyone is always so shocked at how quickly it comes out, because usually I kind of sneak out, get the coals lit, get the grill hot while everyone's just hanging around, and then you throw burgers and buns on, and within 7 to 10 minutes, you've got food for up to 15 people ready to rock. So everyone's always caught off guard with how soon the burgers are done, which I find to be kind of funny and just something I noticed. But that was the weekend, 4th and 5th of July. Really good time, a lot of family time, some socializing, some great food, and all in all, just a really enjoyable weekend. So pretty thrilled on that. Point number 4, the job offer I talked about, I did end up rejecting. Just didn't seem like the right fit for me. Great to get an offer, very grateful for them. The lady that I would have reported to, who's the director, is definitely a lady I would have loved to work with and work for, but the job itself just wasn't the right fit. It would have been a lot of time in the car in the Sonoma County territory, so not the right product, not the right industry, not the right territory, but the right people, and not the right pay either. And so just all in all, decided not to take it. So onward we march. Great to get an offer, but not the right fit for me. Point number 5, facing adversity on a bike ride on Monday, and pivoting with positivity. Those are some of the notes I wrote, but I set off on what was supposed to be a very long bike ride, and ultimately was. We'll get to that. But I was going to do this big route from Mill Valley all the way out to Fairfax, then do a big, huge hill climb through Fairfax, on some roads that I've never been on before, but know that they exist, and they go through the West Marin and Fairfax mountains, and then eventually end up on Mount Tam, kind of Bolinas Ridge, and then take you back to Mill Valley. So big loop, didn't look at the distance, didn't know how far it was. I knew there were hills, didn't know how much hill climb there would be, but I set off on it, and as soon as I got into Corte Madera, about 5 miles from home, I got a flat tire, which was not ideal, but had to face a little adversity, pivoted with positivity. And point number 6 on the list is that there was a gentleman. I started walking my bike from Corte Madera to my mom's house in Larkspur because I knew she had a bike pump there. Didn't realize if it was just a flat or if it was a popped tube or what the situation was. So I started walking to my mom's, and along the way, I saw a gentleman sitting on a porch, and I was like, hey, I saw a bike in his yard. I was like, hey, do you happen to have a happen to have a pump, and he did. So shout out Luther in Larkspur. He was at his friend's house, said it wasn't his house, but he was at his friend's and chilling, maybe waiting for him or something, and helped me out with a bike pump. So at least I could get home or home to my mom's house. Once I got over there, I filled up the tire again and realized that I could hear where the air was coming out. So I needed to get a fix because the tube was popped. And Trek, where I bought my bike, is closed on Mondays. So again, had to pivot with some positivity, figure out an alternative solution. Most of the bike shops around here are pretty expensive, the kind of private ones. But REI happened to be open. My sister just bought my nephew a bike at REI, so I figured I'd go give him some business. Of course, they were also open on Monday, which was very helpful. So I went over, and point number 7 on the list, I got great service at REI. Really good price. They throw in a free inner tube with the labor to replace it and repair it and install it. Or I guess just to replace and install it and repair it. They threw out the old one, replaced it with a new one, which was free, other than the labor. Shout out Steven at REI in the bike repair section. He was so helpful, so knowledgeable. He was doing the most polite upsell ever, not on new gear, but on like, hey, we're doing a class that you should probably take where we're going to teach folks how to fix this on their own in case you're ever caught out on a ride or somewhere where you can't just pop into REI and get it fixed for you. So that was really nice. He wasn't pushy about it. It was actually very fitting because I've been doing maintenance on my own bike and trying to learn some of that, starting with the brake pads that I replaced last week. So shout out Steven. He was very helpful. He even did a little bit of brake service for me. And he did warn me. He's like, look, if I keep doing more, I'm going to have to charge you more, but I'd do it for half price if you wanted to like straighten out my rotor. I declined because I just wanted to get the tube fixed and get out of there. But he was really good, and I'm going to write a Google review shouting him out because great service like that and a friendly employee and a very helpful, knowledgeable person is right up my alley, and I'm very grateful to him. So Aria had great service, which leads me into point number 8, 35-mile bike ride, like I said, from Mill Valley through Fairfax, up over the hill past the Meadow Club to Bolinas Ridge, past Cataract Falls, and ultimately home to Mill Valley. I wrote downhill euphoria and uphill pain. The first hour and a half of the ride, well, not the first hour and a half, but at the hour and a half point, I got to this peak in Fairfax up past the Meadow Club after climbing for like 30 minutes straight. Just brutal. I haven't done a ton of climbing on the bike. I'm not super versed in general in bike riding. It's still fairly new to me, all things considered. So, and often I'm just riding on pretty flat roads. So really lugged it out, got to this peak in Fairfax. That was about an hour and a half. And I figured I probably have like 5 to 10 miles to go to get home. And I was sorely mistaken. It ended up being that once I went down from that peak in Fairfax, you go up to the peak I'm mentioning. Then you have the most beautiful, insane downhills I've ever ridden in my whole life. Through the hills of Fairfax and out behind past the Meadow Club. Just carving it up, weaving through. There were no cars on the road because it was a quiet Monday. It was so much fun. I couldn't believe how much I was enjoying it. But then after all that downhill, there was another immense climb. I think at one point for like almost 3 miles straight, there's like not even any flat. It's just up. So I really had to grind it out. At one point, I quite literally prayed to God for flat road and was just struggling. Again, I didn't map out how far the ride was, exactly how much climb there'd be. So all I had was like a 24, maybe 28 ounce bottle of electrolyte water in a Gatorade bottle. Didn't even bring a second bottle in my other holder in the bike, which was foolish of me. But eventually I made it, just kept going. I think, again, powered by the downhill euphoria and the thought of gratitude for how insane and beautiful the ride was. At one point at Alpine Dam, you pop out of these crazy downhills and you're just at a fat lake. And then you go over the bridge where there's dam on one side and lake on the other. And oh my gosh, it was just so beautiful out. perfect weather, nice and warm, but not too hot, a little bit of breeze. And of course, the downhills, you're going fast and getting some of that cold air on you. So couldn't be more grateful. The ride up to Bolinas Ridge and then along Bolinas Ridge was absolutely punishing. I was out of water. I was questioning my will to continue and considering getting off the bike and just walking for a while, which I did not end up doing, which was I'm proud of, because I just kept pushing it, even if I was going like half a mile an hour at some points, but stayed on the bike, kept it rolling. And then eventually got to the Bootjack campsite, which I've hiked by all the time. And they had a water spigot there that I could fill up with, which was an absolute godsend. And then most of the ride from there was pretty downhill, just getting to carve the like Mill Valley, Muir Beach, Stinson Beach access roads. I don't know exactly where I was, but roads I drive all the time, but have never ridden on a bike. So very fun. Again, not too many cars on the road, especially, especially in the direction that I was going. So that was very pleasant and made me feel a lot safer and more confident when I was exhausted. And eventually made it home. I was so grateful when I could tell for certain, because I know the roads that I've driven on, they all look familiar and I recognize them, but I don't really remember, especially on a bike, like how far things are going to go. And in a car, obviously you have an automatic accelerator and a engine, so you don't really realize when you're going slightly uphill or climbing pretty steep or whatever the terrain may be. Whereas on a bike, anything that's not downhill at that point of the ride was fucking brutal. Even the flat parts, I was like, God, I just want to get home. So I lugged it out. All in all, 35 miles. It was like 3,300 or something feet of climb. It took me like almost 3 hours in total. But yeah, very proud, very grateful for the bike ride. It was so much fun, such a good experience. Phone was dying, so I had to turn off the music about halfway through and just hear myself breathe and hear the gear shifts and the crank of the bike, and yeah, feeling good about it. And I was exhausted when I got home. Slammed a couple of cheeseburgers as soon as I got home. If you can't tell, I ate like 8 burgers over the weekend, Monday included. And then I ended up making more food too, because I was just so hungry. A bunch of beef and rice and beans in a huge pan. I was going to eat it today and tomorrow, but I finished it all yesterday. So that was Monday. Tremendous night. I watched the USA game, watched them get smoked by Belgium, fell asleep at the end because I was exhausted from the bike ride, but a really good Monday. So that was point number 8. Point number 9, and we're almost through this, getting here pretty quick actually, which is good because I'm pretty tired and I actually kind of want to go to bed. So point number 9, weeknight barbecue. I barbecued a couple hours ago for dinner. Had leftover ranch seasoning from when I made the chips, the tortilla chips, the Doritos a couple weeks ago. And I still have more in the cabinet, but I had more than what would fit in the allotted jar for seasoning, so then I had some just in a bowl. So I seasoned up some chicken thighs with it. It was pretty good, a little bit weird, probably a little too much sugar in the seasoning to cook meats with. It went better on the chip, and also there was some white sugar in it, so it kind of burned on the grill, but all in all, pretty decent. But the point of that is that, or the point of point number 9 is I love a weeknight barbecue. I got the charcoals going out in my front patio in the apartment complex. Just sat out there for a little bit while it cooked. And yeah, again, very grateful for the opportunity to just barbecue in my front yard. The weather's nice. The kind of golden hour sun was peeking through. Yeah, pre-golden hour actually, but so nice. And to have some grilled meats on a Tuesday night is such a blessing. Paired it with some garlic rice, which is number 10 on the list. Garlic rice and rice cooker recipes in general. But I made a delicious garlic rice today because I have a bunch of chopped garlic in the fridge. Made some beans as well. Had that with the chicken. And yeah, just a really good weeknight meal. And I guess to cap off point number 10, rice cooker recipes in general have been very appealing to me lately because they're very easy. Just throw some aromatics of any sort into the rice cooker, I've been doing either some soy sauce or some fish sauce or just some salt and pepper or some garlic powder, some chopped garlic, some chopped ginger, green onions, you name it. There's been a bunch of different variations that I've made lately. Sometimes some cumin rice, maybe some turmeric in there for like a more halal cart style rice. So much you can do that's so easy. And just having like a seasoned rice dish as opposed to just white rice at dinner really takes things to the next level. And it's so simple and so easy. And you literally just throw it all in there, give it a quick stir and hit the button, and it comes out amazing every time. Shout out to my Zojirushi brand Neuro Fuzzy rice cooker. Tremendous, I think, Japanese engineering. But yeah, I really enjoy rice cooker recipes, and I want to experiment more with some where I put like some Chinese sausage, like some lapchang or something in there, maybe some other sort of meats that just like cook with the rice, and then you have like an all-in-one kind of meal. But very fun to experiment, and very simple, easy way to cook, and also easy cleanup. So that's the episode tonight. 10 points of randomness, of recap, of things I've been doing, things I'm grateful for. Ankle is feeling pretty decent because I've been off it since like last Monday, so more than a full week now. I've just been riding the bike and going to the gym to give it some time to heal. I really want to run or trail run this week, but I got to keep taking it slow. Got an Oaks, Novato Vintage Oaks softball game tomorrow, so we'll see how it feels at that. But we're back, baby. We're on the bicycle. We're in the gym. We're getting after it. We're eating good food. We're spending time with family. We're connecting with friends. We're connecting with the community, and we're getting sunshine. So good things, great things, very grateful, and life is wonderful. Onward we march. And with that, from Mill Valley, California, Tuesday, July 7th, 2026, it is 8:08 p.m. We will wrap this thing up. And thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I hope it wasn't too much of a snooze fest recap episode, but God bless. As always, love yourselves, love each other, be great, honor God, and of course, get some sunshine and eat something that you love. So, Big Clate signing off. We'll see you next time, baby.